Okay, hello again, friends. Welcome to another episode of Tim Kirby Russia, but this one is a sad one because my mission of, sharing what the world looks like through a Russian filter as an American who's worked in the Russian media for over a decade, speaks Russian at a very high level, high enough to be on all sorts of talk shows, work on the radio, win various different trophies and prizes, and they actually call them premiums sometimes in Russia. After all that, my channel has been, and myself as a whole, has been perma-banned in YouTube. So it's not just this channel, which is political, and it is political about Russia. It has Russia in the name. I've been perma-banned, but it's everything related to me has been destroyed. I believe you're still able to watch my old videos, but the channels are going to slowly kind of rot away over time because I can't add new content, I can't access them. And of course, this is no accident. The ban happened about a week before the election, so they really, wanted to come in. And it's not just me; it's a lot of Russia-related channels all got the hit. I thought I might be able to get away with this for a little bit more because you can't really sanction American citizens, but there's always excuses, and there's always some way around that to get around that. So essentially, it's kind of a sad day here at Tim Kirby Russia because my main dig in life, which is making a lot of like travel videos and interviews with the lives of foreigners in Russia. That's sort of my main thing. That's vastly more successful than this, as you can see, very homemade podcast. That's gone now, on YouTube anyways. And so this again has sort of forced me again to move more towards a working in the Russian language direction. Because one thing, guys, is I'm vastly more successful in Russian than I am in English. Everything that I've ever done in Russian has been at least like a 5 out of 10 success. And so I kind of took some time. As you can see, there haven't been many videos on this channel recently, despite there being the elections. And obviously that was a bit on purpose that they made the timing so good. But it also just kind of made me frustrated. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do going forward. Is it really worth the effort of making these videos just to have 1,000 people on Rumble watch them? I don't know. Uploading to Rumble and BitChute just gets harder and harder to do from Russia. I guess I'm going to now do direct uploads to Telegram of some of these episodes. That might have some resonance. But essentially, guys, I think one of the big platforms, ironically, the platform that hates when people talk about politics the most, YouTube, is really the best place for that kind of discussion. And now I'm perma-banned. I'm gone. And maybe someone in the comments is going to say, oh, Tim, just buy a new phone number and set up a new account, and they'll never know. They'll find out. As soon as enough videos come out, as soon as my wonderful voice or the word Russia gets repeated 20 times per video, because, again, I'm sick of... by the way, I am sort of sick of dancing around words all people on YouTube have to do, like rape, suicide, murder, and there's a bunch of others that we're not really sure of. I've heard actually that even the word feminism actually can give you a red flag because it means you're talking about politics and you're not supposed to. But anyways, I'm sick of the barriers. So I don't know what to do, guys. It does seem like we have a loyal audience here, and a lot of my let's just say attempts to help people who are foreigners move to Russia means that I have to continue to make content in English, kind of whether I like it or not. So I guess you're going to still see me around here, but guys, it's this is the most demotivated I've been in a long time. And you might say, but Tim, that's the point. That's why they ban people. It's to demotivate you. It's to get rid of you. And you know what? It's kind of, at this point in time, it's kind of working. There's a very strong desire again to quit because the views I get on these videos aren't really that great. My audience is kind of weird. It is sort of like, weird in the sense that it's really English-speaking Westerners who want to move to Russia. And that's kind of my small niche audience. Are there a lot of Westerners who want to move to Russia? Yes. But, how many people are going to watch videos? I don't know. So the views have never been that great on this channel. Again, compared to everything I do in Russia, where, it's thousands and thousands and thousands upon views just because I showed up. So, I don't know, guys. This isn't calling it quits quite yet, because I still want to see this American village completely come to fruition. I want to film videos about it, especially when the families actually arrive, because I think when the first families arrive, that means the next wave is going to get really excited, because they're going to see what everything looks like. Things are going to become less mysterious and less, abstract, and people are really going to want to do it. So I guess for the sake of the American village, I'm going to keep going with this. But you guys have no idea how much I'd really like to just kind of throw in the towel at this point. And another thing, too, is, who knows, this may even be in connection with how the one Russian court for violations fined YouTube more money than exists in the world. And some people are like, well, how could they do that? Well, again, there's the first thing is that laws and bureaucracy are stupid, and perhaps the penalty for violating a foreign company, violating the freedom of speech of a Russian citizen, perhaps the penalty for that is quite high. And if you do something, 300,000 times, then the penalty becomes so high that it's beyond the entire resources of the entire planet. Bureaucracy is a weird thing. It's very contradictory to the way that human beings actually see the world, and yet we create bureaucracy, so it's weird. That could be a big part of it. But regardless, Google's facing basically it's kind of like what would you want to say? They kind of are at between a rock and a hard place here, because the CIA and the deep state and all that, which I can mention now since nothing's going to go on YouTube, so we can talk about the CIA, globalists, homosexuals, the gay LGBT super agenda. I can even use racial slurs, but I don't want to. I like everybody, but I could, and that's nice. It's nice to have the freedom to do something if you really want to. That's the true meaning of liberty. You're not restricted, but do you have to do something? No. Anyways, what was I saying? I was talking about how, YouTube is kind of, in terms of Russia, stuck between a rock and a hard place, because they're in the West, so they have to serve the interests of the Western deep state, like it or not, or at best, lose all your money. But also in terms of Russia here now, basically they are being forced to basically either comply with, the Russian government's demands and give everybody back their content and channels and let things go back to the old days to get all these fines taken away, or basically you're done. So, they're caught between a rock and a hard place, but I also think that, I highly doubt that any of the executives of Google would ever see this coming. They would just be like, okay, we'll bow to the CIA, everything will work out, because probably a lot of them agree with these bans and this political agenda that they push. Probably not all, but a lot of them I'm sure do. And so this might have been a little bit of a surprise for them. But anyways, this is more of a video again. If you're still watching this is sort of a video for my more hardcore fans who do watch every video, and I appreciate that. There's only a few thousand of you, but thanks for being around anyways. A few thousand of you is much better than zero. Yeah, so we're gone from YouTube. I am not going to attempt to go back to YouTube again unless some weird thing were to happen where, YouTube goes, I'm sorry, Russian government, we were bad, and we're going to reinstate everyone's account and pretend like this never happened. Well, then, yeah, sure. Then I'll go back to YouTube. But unless that happens, nah. I ain't doing it. So anyways, guys, we're going to be pushing forward here. We're going to become true heroes of the side stream media. We're going to walk the walk that Alex Jones has to walk every day. not having access to any mainstream media. Although my Twitter account still is open somehow. I don't know. Probably because I never use it. So we'll see. Elon for now is doing okay, but then again, he did ban, maybe not he, but Aussie Cossack is banned on YouTube, or not you, Twitter. That's not right. Elon, you know that's not right. You know Aussie Cossack isn't calling for mass murder or something. You know that. Reinstate Aussie Cossack. I forget. There's some kind of hashtag where I think it's called reinstate Aussie Cossack. I probably should have looked that up before this video. But anyways, he deserves to be reinstated. He is not calling for mass murder. No mass murder involved in his channel or anything or feed. I think Twitters are related to feeds. But anyways, so it's a sad day here at Tim Kirby Rush Hardcore. I feel quite defeated, especially when pretty much the majority of my views, which weren't that great to begin with, just vanished. It's a sad day, but I have no choice to go forward because regardless of what happens, if Russia as a whole, okay, and remember, I'm an independent actor when it comes to this Tim Kirby Rush Hardcore universe. This is me. I get some occasional donations, which is cool, but the donations don't tell me what to say. Okay? They're just a nice little present from the audience. And in fact, I might be losing some donations coming up because of this. That's also sad. But kind of lost my train of thought there. But anyways, this is kind of a sad day here. But But I can't give up because Russia can't give up. Because the one problem, again with the Soviet Union, was the Soviet Union completely closed itself off, and its closed-offedness, if that's a word, allowed the West to weave whatever narratives it wanted about the Soviet Union. Just like how with North Korea today. North Korea has virtually no voice anywhere, and thus you could just make up anything about North Korea. And regardless of how many bans or blocks or whatever, Russia has to continue to create in many different languages. Of course, the more popular languages come first, like English, Spanish, Arabic, and Chinese. Sorry guys, they're big languages. They kind of come first. But they have to continue to produce media in these languages, even if it gets blocked, even if maybe officially the view count isn't great, because people will take it, steal it, and upload it elsewhere. Because if Russia becomes closed off again, it will allow history to repeat itself. And I, as someone who's a Russian citizen, I feel it is and who works in the media, these two things combined form Captain Planet. It's sort of my duty, and it should be my pleasure, although I'm really angry right now, to continue this info war and show that Russia is a normal country and engage in anti-demonization. Things here are pretty normal, and they're pretty nice, and people are pretty decent, and in fact, that's probably pretty much true everywhere. But still, anti-demonization. We cannot allow Russia to become demonized again like it was during the Soviet Union. And no matter what the barriers are, no matter what the restrictions, blocks, bans, or whatever, we're just going to have to keep doing this, because if we don't, it brings us back towards the cusp of World War III or another Cold War, or who knows, something even worse. So the truth has to get out there regardless. So I guess Tim Kirby Rush Hardcore is going to continue, but I'll tell you what, guys, I am real close to calling it a day. I'm real close.